Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. A very, very warm welcome to all of you here with us at our Ask UWI session. Today, we are going to be looking at veterinary medicine, and this is an area that's very unique and one that quite a few persons had some questions on. So we decided to do our traditional Ask UWI session so that you can come and find out all you need to find out about veterinary medicine. Maybe you're thinking you're going to apply, maybe you're not sure if you want to apply. Now is the time to ask all your questions. Maybe you have some queries. We have our expert panel with us here this afternoon, and we are happy to have you here with us at our Ask UWI session, where we are going to be discussing veterinary medicine. Remember that our application deadline with the UWI St. Augustine campus is on July 31st, 2024. So it's coming right up. So we want to make sure that you have all your questions answered before you sign up with us to join us in September on our beautiful St. Augustine campus. So again, welcome to our Ask UWI session this afternoon. Here with us today, we have Dr. Carla Georges, who is the director of the School of Veterinary Medicine. We also have with us Ms. Charlene Hamblin McSween, who is a fourth-year student and also president of the Veterinary Students Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And our admissions team is always here with us at all our Ask UWI sessions, just in case you have questions and you want to find out what you need to qualify, what sorts of documentation you need. We have our admissions team here to answer those types of questions. So again, for those of you who are just joining us, welcome to our Ask UWI session on veterinary medicine. And we open this session with all your questions and all your queries. And remember, if you're shy, you can put all your questions in our chat, and we have our team who's there waiting to answer all your questions. Or you can use your raise hand tool and I'll call upon you and you could ask your questions because we would love to hear from you. So to start us off this afternoon, I'm going to ask Dr. Carla Georges. Again, she is the head of the School of Veterinary Medicine. And she's going to tell you a little bit about our program, and all the questions you may have about our program will be answered. So Dr. Georges, over to you.
Thank you very much. And I'm really happy to be here to answer any of the questions that you may have about our Doctor of Veterinary Medicine program. I do have a short PowerPoint presentation, which I will share with you right now as we go through veterinary medicine as our great career choice. I'll just give you a little bit about my own journey into veterinary medicine. I first did a degree in zoology and chemistry at the Faculty of Natural Sciences back in the day. And there I developed a great love for the fauna and flora of Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, animals. And luckily, the School of Veterinary Medicine at the campus at Mount Hope had just opened the year before. So it's the Faculty of Medical Sciences. So my year is actually the second year to enter into the Faculty of Medical Sciences. So it was really an exciting time for me as a young, up-and-coming professional in the field. And that hasn't changed. I see the same thing in the faces of all new students entering the program. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to give you a little synopsis about the program itself. So it's a 5-year program, and it's the only veterinary program within the entire University of the West Indies ecosystem. So what that means that if you want to do veterinary medicine, you can only do it here in St. Augustine at our campus in Trinidad. We are fully accredited by an accreditation body called CAM-HP, which is a Caribbean Accreditation Authority for Education and Medicine. And what does that mean? That means that we have to go through a rigorous process, I tell you this stuff, in order to maintain our standards, which we have maintained over the last 30-odd years. And we focus on having well-trained and competent graduates who practice in the Caribbean and globally. We also promote a concept called One Health. That is, the health of humans, animals, and the environment are so interconnected. And it's important that we keep ourselves and our animals healthy for the entire ecosystem to be healthy. We do have a mission and vision. Of course, we are a global university rooted in the Caribbean, and we basically want to make sure that we have that positive transformation for Caribbean people and the wider world. And as I said earlier, all graduates are in the Caribbean. We have all important positions for decision-making processes throughout the entire Caribbean. And we have graduates practicing and doing their thing in 14 countries worldwide. So what does a program look like? Well, it's 5 years. Remember, I said I did a first degree at UWI, and then people were saying, my God, you want to go and study for 5 years after? I said, of course, because it's going to be an exciting career, and it has opened up so many doors for me. It's unbelievable. And it still does that. So the first year is what we call the foundation courses, where we teach you about anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and we have a course called clinical skills and professional development. And you also do communication with your medical and dental colleagues within the first year. Communication, sort of an ethics and communication principles course, which is common among all health professionals. And then the second year is what we call the ology, all these virology, animal production. So note that we change our curriculum, and therefore we have moved many courses which were previously in year 2 or 3 around. And that is in order to have a very smooth transition into the clinical years. And for those of you who wish to spend the final year in an institution outside of Trinidad, we are making it possible for you, because there are exams that you have to pass in order to qualify for this program. Okay, so the paraclinical years are years 2 and 3, and you're doing all the sciences, the pharmacology, pharmacology, virology, immunology. We have moved public health from year 3 into year 4, and a lot of these disease courses have changed. And then year 4 and 5 are the clinical years. So as I mentioned to you earlier, year 5, we have changed the program such that the year 5 courses can be done at our partner, the schools that we are developing partnerships with at this time. Okay, so our program also has a comprehensive research project, and that research project is completed by the end of year 4. So the careers in veterinary medicine, as I said, when I started, I did not realize that my career choices was so vast. Most people would like to, of course, practice clinical medicine, which is fine. So there are the options of specializing in areas in small animal medicine, large animal medicine. And then there's that area of veterinary epidemiology and public health, which is quite transformative. We've just been out of COVID, or we're still experiencing it. And it's the epidemiologists, a lot of them veterinarians, who have transformed public health the way that we know it now. We also have a very strong area of diagnostics in the diagnostic lab that we have. And that diagnostic lab was actually part of the whole COVID process, where we first started testing samples. We had the capacity to do it, and the vet schools throughout the world did the same thing that we did. Okay, so most of the testing started in veterinary institutions for the community and training communities to be self-sufficient. So I'm telling you this because veterinary medicine is not just about taking care of companion animals, which is fantastic. I love companion animals as well, but it's also a career which can take you into industry, vaccine development, food processes for animals or for humans, etc. So it's really, really very broad. And of course, you have the regulatory part of veterinary medicine, where you go into government, where you see about keeping your borders safe, training other professionals about recognizing exotic animal diseases, keeping your food supply safe, keeping your food chain safe. So you learn the basics and the fundamental principles of all of these things when you go through your veterinary program. So you have a very solid foundation to move into whatever area that you choose afterwards. I myself have chosen veterinary public health and epidemiology, which is another extremely broad area. There's funding for postgraduate work. I myself, I got a scholarship to study my master's degree at Utrecht University in the Netherlands, and I also got a Commonwealth scholarship towards my PhD degree in veterinary epidemiology, and I also learned molecular biology. So it's really broad and very diverse, a career in veterinary medicine. A lot of veterinarians are into research. One of our graduates, Dr. Naola Ferguson, she's now a professor. She's into research into mycoplasma, disease of poultry, keeping food safe. She has developed a patent for vaccines. And so these are our own Trinidad and Tobagonian citizens and Caribbean citizens who have done so well and continue to do so well. Teaching is also another career. Veterinary education is broad. As when I was interviewed once, the opening line was, "Do you know that the world needs more vets?" Right? And so it is. Veterinary education, there are a lot of schools, new schools opening up. They need faculty, they need trained people. And a career in veterinary medicine has a very strong, very strong foundation for furthering your studies if you want to do teaching and veterinary education, which is another big area. And don't talk about all the global organizations. You have Food and Agricultural Organization of United Nations. There is the World Animal Health Organization, WOHA, World Organization, and all of that. So they protect your food, they protect your animals, and their whole part preventing pandemics is one of the big watchwords right now. And there's a lot of need for professionals with veterinary knowledge transcending human medicine and veterinary medicine. So I would say, it's wide ranging. So I just mentioned some of our notable graduates. We are quite a few here teaching our citizens of the CARICOM and other nations right here at the School of Veterinary Medicine. And then I spoke about Dr. Naola Ferguson, a professor. She's won so many awards. Right now, the latest award, she actually won the Inventor of the Year award, and she was one of the first persons at that year, she was the only vet in the whole United States, okay, to win the Event of the Year, right? So it just shows the foundation that we have is really solid. We have Neera Gopi. Neera is working with NIH in Maryland, which is a National Institute of Health. She's part of that whole lab session. We have Dr. Parsan, Neil Parsan. He's a politician at large. He's involved in quite a lot of things, but part of his knowledge stems from the fact that he's a trained veterinarian and transcends so many other areas in international relations, etc. Okay, so career in veterinary medicine is a start. Okay, it's a start to opening many doors for you. Okay, many doors. So I think it's something that you should consider. We have spaces for every year. We try not to go beyond 40 applicants, right? So as I said, it's very competitive. We are the only school in the UWI ecosystem, CARICOM, that have the program fully on site in one space, and you get hands-on and individualized attention at the UWI School of Veterinary Medicine. So I implore you, apply. We'll get some further information about what's been done. Okay, so thank you, and that's it for now.
Thanks very much, Dr. Georges. That was quite informative. I think what is especially important is that sometimes persons aren't sure what to do with the area of study, and they think that all they can do is teach. And I think you sort of open their eyes with regards to what the opportunities are. And I don't even think you exhausted the topic. You just gave them snippets of information. And I think that's good enough to kind of whet everyone's appetite. So we appreciate that. And actually, our next speaker, Charlene Hamden McSween, will just hone in on a couple more things because she is a student of our program. She's a fourth-year student, and she's also the president of the Veterinary Students Association of Trinidad and Tobago. So she will tell us about the student experience, her experiences, the practical work you're going to do, and some of the things that I know that those of you who are about to delve into the program really want to find out. So Charlene, this is your turn to wow them with your experiences.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you. I'm happy to be here to answer questions anyone may have because I was once in your shoes, as they would have mentioned. I'm a fourth year veterinary student, so I'll just give you an overview of what a day in the life of a vet student would be. I'm in my clinical years now. I'm in year four, and year five are the two clinical years. So typically, the day would consist of lectures, classroom lectures, lab sessions. You also get hands-on clinical experience through externships where you go to a private veterinary clinic. You also taught practical skills such as animal handling and surgical techniques. You're taught about anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, all those things leading up to your clinical years. Before I got into vet school, I made a decision I wanted to have a very holistic experience. So I got involved in many clubs from year one. When I came in, VSAT, the Veterinary Students Association of Trinidad and Tobago, is one of them. There are also opportunities with the Wildlife and Exotics Club, the Equine Club, and a lot of volunteer opportunities as well with non-governmental organizations. So that's just a snippet of what our life would look like as a student. There are many more aspects there. I can't get into everything now, but I'm here to answer any questions you might have leading up to your application to vet school. Thank you.
Thanks very much. And I think too, you know, from a marketing perspective, there are so many persons who always talk about, well, we know at UWI, we could study this program and study that program, but what we really want to hear about is the non-academic stuff. So thanks, Charlene, for that. I think those who are coming in always want to hear about, so what else is there? So what clubs you can join? How can I, you know, expand my experiences? So all that information is critical because I know that some of you are here because you want to sign up with us. Don't forget our deadline date for signing up for our 2024-2025 cycle is July 31st. So it's coming up just now, and we want to make sure that you have all your questions answered this afternoon. So a special good afternoon to those of you who are here in our session. A special mention to Gavin, who's here. We have Jordan. I'm just calling names, so don't worry, I'm not going to pick on you. So have no fear. Alana, Nichelle, Veronique, we have several persons here with us this afternoon. And again, feel free to ask us your questions in the chat. We want to hear from you. We know that some of you are a bit shy, so you can type your questions or you can just use your raise hand tool and you can ask your questions after I call on you and we'll be very happy to answer your questions. So please feel free to share with us and to let us know. And I know that our team will also be sending in the chat whatever email address we have in case you have any questions, even after the session, maybe you didn't think of something right now. So I know that we will put in the chat soon what email you can send your queries or questions or anything you want to know. Let's put that link in the chat, that email in the chat so that you all could make a note of it and ask us any questions you may want to ask us afterwards. So just to kind of remind you about what your pre-requirements are for vet school, as we say familiarly on campus, we have Crystal from our admissions team, Ms. Crystal Mez, and she would just let you know what the pre-requirements are for our veterinary medicine program. Crystal?
Good afternoon, everyone. So the basic requirements, we look at 5 CSEC subjects, that's maths, English, biology, chemistry, and preferably physics, but any other subject will be considered. In addition to CSEC or its equivalent, we look at CAPE and its equivalent, 2 levels of biology, chemistry, and any other subject will be considered as well. We know there would be some persons who are applying with university degrees. So if you are one of those applicants, we would require a completed transcript to be sent to us. So we ask that the completed transcript be sent directly to admissions via email from the institution that you would have obtained your qualifications at. For persons who were previous students of any university of the Western East campus, we would be able to access your transcripts. So you are not required to submit any transcripts to us. If you have any other questions or you need clarification regarding the requirements, you can feel free to ask.
Thanks very much, Crystal. And Dr. Georges, if you wanted to add any other bits of information here, you can. You just let me know, and we could just, because I know you also had some additional information with regards to pre-requirements and entry requirements, so we could stop at any time to add that, just in case anyone had any questions. There was something else I wanted to just question. I know that you had mentioned scholarship opportunities, because I know that especially these days, persons are really interested in how they can finance their study. And sometimes persons may have that initial financial amount that's necessary for you to start the program, and you're just not sure how you may be able to continue. But I think it's good for us to know, and for our listeners to know, that we do have scholarship opportunities that you can apply for while in the program. We heard about some other opportunities for internship and so on. But Dr. Georges, is there any other information you'd like to share with regards to scholarship opportunities?
So scholarship opportunities really are dependent on the country from which you are applying. So there would be funding opportunities that are available to veterinary students globally, and that will help offset some of the expenses that you may have. For instance, the World Veterinary Association, Merck Animal Foundation, they have a global call, and they do fund students from each hemisphere up to about 2,500 US. And there are other smaller grants available, like for instance, if you want to go to a conference, etc. There are institutions such as the CaribVet Network, which will help fund these types of engagements and opportunities.
Thanks very much, Dr. Georges. Just a bit more, Charlene, I'm really curious as to how you ended up as the president of the Veterinary Students Association. Would you like to tell us that? Because I feel there's some information there that'll be very interesting for the rest of us to learn. Some of our attendees may have aspirations to also be the president of the Veterinary Students Association. So let us know how can they get involved.
Sure. As soon as you enter vet school, you're automatically a member of the Veterinary Students Association of Trinidad and Tobago. So as I came in year one, I saw the opportunity when they had a call for nominations. So I became the treasurer at first. After the treasurer, I went up again for the nomination the subsequent academic year, and I became the president-elect. And after that, subsequently, this past academic year, I again went up for nomination. So that's how I'm now the president of the Veterinary Students Association. So I would strongly encourage students to get involved in extracurricular activities. It's just part of your whole holistic experience. And sometimes you tend to get bogged down with the academics. It also helps with your networking, people who you would not normally interact with in other schools within the Faculty of Medical Sciences. You get to interact with those people. It just opens up your network, even to TTVA, the Trinidad and Tobago Veterinary Association. You get to meet a lot of people. You broaden your network. So I would strongly recommend anyone gets involved in VSAT when they join the vet school. Not just get involved, but become part of the executive. You're responsible for voicing student concerns, all those sorts of things. And it's really amazing. So I would strongly encourage people to get involved, just as I did at the start.
Okay, great, because I think that's really important. As I mentioned, there are so many questions we get from persons who want to sign up at university, and many of the times one of the first questions they ask is, tell me about the non-academic things that I can do. So I think that's very important information for our attendees to be able to listen to. And don't forget, if it is you have any other questions, or you want to talk to a team in another faculty, we also have our open day sessions. Our open day weekend is on April 13th and 14th, where you can come on the quad here at our St. Augustine campus. You can register to attend, or you can just come on board. You can bring your family and friends to visit us at the campus and find out anything you want to know about all our other programs. Additionally, I do know that our vet school is having an event coming up. So Dr. Georges, you'd like to tell them about your virtual open day?
Thank you very much. Yes, so we're having an exciting virtual open day on the 29th of April. It will be in the afternoon, usually around 6 p.m. So what we do is that we allow you to have a virtual tour of the School of Veterinary Medicine. And we do question and answer sessions. We have our student body. We have graduates, new graduates, and others come and talk to you and answer any of the questions that you may have. It's been quite well received. It's open to everybody. We've had somebody 8 years old to somebody mature who's looking for a second profession, okay, career change, which that's very, very au courant these days. A lot of people looking for career changes. And it's really, really a very nice, exciting time. These participants can interact with each other as well. So yeah, so I look out for our link. We're going to have it soon for being promoted to all schools and on our social media networks and our websites. We'll send a registration link to you, and you'll be given more information soon within the next few days on this.
Okay, that's great. So what we will do, because we do have the information for all our persons who have registered for this session, we will be sending you all the information about the virtual open day, because we know that you may want to hear some different information. You may want to tell a friend and invite your other friends and colleagues. So we're going to make sure and send you that information to our virtual open day for our vet school, which is coming up pretty soon. So again, we'd like to invite you to ask any questions you may have. Gavin, do you have any questions? You could feel free to just drop us a line in the chat. We are waiting for your questions. Most of the time, we would have answered most of your questions already, because we do have our experts here with us. So we really try to make sure all our Ask UWI sessions answer all the questions that persons usually have, like what requirements, what pre-requirements you need, what qualifications you need, what career opportunities you can explore in the area of veterinary services. What's it like to be a student at our vet school? When is UWI open day? When is vet school open day? So we try to make sure that we answer all your questions at these sessions. But just in case we've forgotten a question or two, feel free to drop us a line, or you can use your raise hand tool and just ask your question. We'll be very happy to hear from you. And Gavin said he has no questions. As I told you, we've been answering all Gavin's questions all afternoon, so he doesn't have any questions for us at the moment. But I do have a question from Marissa, who is asking, would provisional acceptance be given if only one unit of CAPE was done and awaiting Unit 2 results? So again, Marissa's question is, would provisional acceptance be given if only one unit of CAPE was done and awaiting Unit 2 results? So I'm not sure if it will be Dr. Georges or Crystal who will answer that question for us.
Okay, I can answer.
Great, thanks.
So once the person has the scores, the academic scores for entry, it is possible, but we have to look at your transcript to ensure that you have all the required subjects at CSEC level. And of course, once the cutoff for our nationals with CAPE Unit 1 is a score of 10, and we score that based on a grade 1, a grade 2, a grade 3, etc. So a grade 1 will give you 5 points. If you have a subject with a grade 2, will give you 4, a grade 3, 3, etc. So you need to make sure that you have the required subjects and you are registered for CAPE Unit 2. Okay. So yeah, so once we can see that you have all those elements in place, you can actually get a firm offer for entry into the program.
Okay, Dr. Georges, would you just like to reiterate what your pre-qualifications need to be just one more time for those
Okay, for those people who have who wants to apply under this scheme, you have to have 5 CSEC/O levels, and those must include chemistry, biology, mathematics, English language, and we are saying that we prefer physics, but it's not absolutely necessary. But if you have physics, you are more competitive. And of course, yeah, so once you have those 5, 4 of which have to be chemistry, biology, mathematics, and English language, okay? but you have to have 5. And then at CAPE, you have to be registered for, you have to have passed chemistry, biology, and one other third subject, a third CAPE subject, okay? Basically, and you have to be registered for the other CAPE. So if you're doing CAPE Unit 1, you have to be registered for CAPE Unit 2 in those subjects, and you must send us your results for CAPE Unit 1. And once your results for CAPE Unit 1 are above our threshold of 10, then you can get a firm offer. So those are students with CAPE. If you do not have CAPE and you, let's say you're going to an associate degree, or you're doing, you're at UTT or CASE, etc. For those at CASE is a school in Jamaica. So those at UTT, you have to show that you have done 2 semesters of chemistry and 2 semesters of biology within your degree. So it could be biology/zoology, etc. But it must show that you have 2 semesters. So if you only did 1 semester of chemistry, and then your GPA has to be above 2.5. Okay, so of course you have to have the CSEC grades. So if you do not, so if you at UTT and you want to be a vet, ensure that your degree or your diploma, first of all, has a GPA of above 2.5, and you must ensure that you've done 2 full semesters of chemistry and 2 full semesters of biology. Okay, so that is one of the pathways.
Okay, thanks very much, Dr. Georges. I think Marissa said thank you, Dr. Georges, because you answered her question. And now we have Gabriella, who wants to know, can I also have the scoring for N1 grades in terms of acceptance before semester 2 examination? Let me make sure I'm reading that correctly. Can I also have the scoring for N1 grades in terms of acceptance before semester 2 examination? Dr. Georges?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, so what I can do, okay, so N1 grades, they are scored 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, etc. But for N1, a score of 5 would be for A+ and an A, okay? A score of 4 will be an A-, all right? A score of 3 is a B+ and a B, and a score of 2 is a B-, okay? And a C+, C, and a C- is a score of 1. So our cutoff point for entry for candidates with N1 or CAPE is 20 points. So you would realize for N1, an A and an A+ is a 5, and an A- is a 4. So you should try and get as many A's as possible, whether it's an A+, an A, or A-, because once you start getting B's, it's going to be harder for you to get a score of 20 points. Okay, so my advice is to try and get as many A's as possible for entry into the program.
Okay.
And of course, it has to be the biology and the chemistry and one.
Thanks very much, Dr. Georges. Nicolette, I haven't forgotten you, but I just want to make sure Marissa gets her questions answered, because she is saying that I presently have the CSEC requirements for CAPE 1, for Unit 1. I have both units of environmental science, a grade 1 in both units, biology, grade 2 and 3 respectively, and Unit 2 chemistry. She has a grade 5, and she is presently registered for Unit 1 and 2. So she's just giving us some background information there with regards to what she has so far. And I believe Dr. Georges would have answered that question with her very extensive reply just now. But Marissa, we're going to put in the chat an email address for you. In case you have any other questions for us, you can email us. You can reach out to us if you're not too sure, and we'll be able to answer you. If not this evening, we'll be able to answer you as soon as possible, because we have your information here, and we're going to put that in the chat for you. So back to Nicolette's question. Hi, good day. I'm a student at UTT, and I'm doing a diploma in animal health and veterinary public health. And I'm wondering, after I finish my program, how do I go about getting into our vet school? And I think Dr. Georges touched on that just now. So just in case Nicolette wasn't too sure. She just wants to know how can she get into our vet program after doing a diploma in animal health and veterinary public health at UTT.
Okay, so Nicolette, we have to make sure that in your transcript, you have 2 semesters of chemistry completed and passed, and 2 semesters of biology completed and passed. Okay, so you have to make sure that you have enough chemistry and enough biology. And then, of course, your GPA has to be above 2.5. So once you meet all those criteria and you have the CSEC subjects, then you apply through the application portal, uploading your transcripts, etc., to be considered for entry. Okay, so, but you have to make sure that your transcript contains the chemistry and the biology for entry, okay?
Okay.
If you
so-
don't have chemistry at Cape.
Okay, I think that may answer her question, Dr. Georges. Thank you, because I'm seeing Marissa saying thanks, and I'm seeing Gabrielle saying thanks, Gabriella. So hopefully those very comprehensive replies will be able to give them the information they need to sign up with us by July 31st, 2024. We really want to have you here with us on our beautiful St. Augustine campus. Again, this session is really for you to ask all your questions, to find out more about the program, to be intimately involved with our panelists who could speak to you right now, answer your questions. We're also going to upload a recording of this Ask UWI session on YouTube by the end of this week. So you can just go to YouTube and look for it. And maybe you want to hear Dr. Georges, or you want to hear Charlene, or you want to hear Crystal just reiterate a couple of the things they've already said. You can play it over. You can send it to a friend also. Let's see. I think we have another question here. Oh, this is someone, well, we're trying to give Marissa some additional information. So our background team is here making sure that all questions are answered, and additional information is also provided, as we said, so that hopefully this will be able to allay all your fears, any little concerns you may have, because we really want you to join us at our campus. Again, we welcome you to register for the UWI Open Days. It's on April 13th and 14th. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. You can register. Check us on any of our social media pages. You can register, or you don't even have to register. You can just come. You can bring your family, you can bring your classmates, you can bring your colleagues, and talk to Dr. Georges and her team to find out all about our UWI Veterinary Medicine program, and even other programs, because all our various areas of study, what we call faculties, they'll be here with us on the quadrangle, a place that is very common to all UWI students also. So we really want to see you here at our open day sessions. And in addition to this, because we have several areas where you can come and ask questions, our vet school is having their own virtual open day, which Dr. Georges would have spoken to before, and we'll be sure to invite all of you attending this afternoon to attend the vet school's open day. And we have our email address right here in the chat, so that even if you have some other queries after our session, because we are coming down to a close very soon, we have our webpage there, we have our links here, we have our email address there. So any questions at all you have, you can ask us about requirements, about the program, about the course details, about what you need. You can send all your questions, and we have all the information right there. So again, it has been our pleasure. We are happy that we were able to reach out to you this afternoon. If you wish to look at the recording again, we will have this uploaded to YouTube within the next 48 hours. You can find us on Facebook. You could look at our vet school social media platforms to get more information about our upcoming open day. And then we also have the university's weekend open day on April 13th and 14th. So we have several avenues where we are reaching out to you to make sure that you have all your questions answered. So that's it, folks. I'd like to thank you all for attending our Ask UWI session. It was a pleasure being here, where we're able to meet with you and engage with you. Feel free to chat with us as we get further and further into our application cycle, which is coming to a close on July 31st. So tune in, because we have several other Ask UWI sessions on several other programs, and we are happy to be here so that you can ask UWI anything you wish to. Again, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us.